There's 23 different agency partners that were all involved in this operation, all with their specific parts that made this successful. This Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force has been named Operation Safe Online Summer, also known as Operation SOS. This operation began on April 1st and lasted throughout the month and continued into May and is still continuing as the cases start making their way towards the courts itself. Throughout this operation, there were 72 arrests that had occurred all across Arizona and into surrounding states. With that being said, I'd like to start this off by inviting Assistant Chief DeCastro up to the stand to provide more context to the operation itself. Chief.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. First, I'd like to thank all of our partners here, the Arizona Attorney General, Chris Mays, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Matt Schaefer, our local partners that are able to make it here today, Scottsdale, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and Goodyear, and then all the ones that couldn't make it out today for some reason. Thank you. This is a team effort. Without all of us working together, we could not do this alone. So thank you very much. Excuse me. Our children deserve to grow in a safe and supportive physical and online environment, free from exploitation and harm. The work of the Internet Crimes Against Children, or ICAC Task Force, is invaluable in achieving this mission. During my career, I have been able to see firsthand many of these types of operations at work, and the level of commitment that these investigators have in apprehending these predators is truly astounding. We are deeply grateful for their dedication and relentless effort in protecting our most valuable population. It is not easy dealing with these cases, so thank you to all the investigators and detectives that do this on an everyday basis. The ICAC Task Force works tirelessly to detect, investigate, and prosecute those who seek to hurt and exploit children online and in our neighborhoods. Through collaboration with local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, their efforts have resulted in identifying and apprehending numerous offenders, making our community safer. The Phoenix Police Department remains fully committed to the safety and well-being of all children and will take any necessary actions to identify, investigate, and stop predators operating within our communities. We will continue to prioritize the safety of children and provide unwavering support to the ICAC Task Force and all those working to combat these heinous crimes. So to Sergeant Bauer's introduction, Operation SOS was a massive success. This is one of many that happens throughout the year, and through many investigative techniques, the detectives were able to apprehend over 70 predators. These are the people that are preying on young children that are vulnerable online. And so being able to take them offline, so to speak, is a true effort. I will say for parents, people that care for children, please use as much safety as you can. Monitor your children's accounts. They have multiple accounts. They'll tell you they don't, but they do. Please make sure that you are monitoring them and call us so that we can apprehend those as soon as we can. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank the Phoenix Police Department for hosting this press conference and the entire Arizona Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force for leading this absolutely critical effort. And thank you to all of our partners for being with us today. This kind of broad and unified collaboration is exactly what it takes to confront the threat of online child exploitation. Operation Safe Online Summer is an example of law enforcement at its best, Agencies that are working together with one goal, and that is protecting our children. Over the course of a month, this task force carried out more than 240 search warrants, made 72 arrests, and identified dozens of victims, some of whom were actively being exploited. Those numbers, quite frankly, are staggering. But more important than those statistics are the lives that are impacted. Every child rescued, every predator taken off the streets represents justice and a safer future for Arizonans. I want to especially recognize the staff from the Arizona Attorney General's office, our investigators, our prosecutors, and our victim advocates who work hard to protect Arizonans every single day of the year. My office is fully committed to working to bring these offenders to justice and supporting survivors every step of the way. And we know that online threats do not stop at city, county, or state lines. That's why continued partnerships among law enforcement agencies is absolutely essential, and why my office remains fully committed to this work. In fact, just this morning, my office announced we've secured a 17-year sentence in a sex offender case we prosecuted out of La Paz County. Because of the work that my office and local law enforcement conducted, Robert Berghofer will spend the next 17 years in state prison, followed by a lifetime probation and GPS monitoring for possessing child sexual abuse material and exploiting minors under the age of 15. To those who would target Arizona's children online, let this be a warning. We will find you, and we will prosecute you, and we will protect our kids. And let me just echo something that was just said as well. And this is something that I've been very concerned about and will continue to focus on, which is the responsibility of social media companies for facilitating or allowing some of this, a lot of this crime to happen on their platforms. I think it's something that Congress needs to focus on, but that we all must focus on, and that is, how do we make sure that social media companies that know that this activity is happening on their platforms, or should know that it's happening on their platforms, take a greater role in getting it off of their platforms and protecting our kids. So thank you again to all of the partners here today, and to every officer, agent, and staff member who made this operation such a success. Operations like this are proof that we are stronger and more effective when we all work together. So again, thank you. And now I'm very happy to be able to introduce Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell for some comments.
Thank you very much, Attorney General Mays. I want to echo what you said. It is very rewarding to stand up here to be part of such a large effort. We have, the FBI at the federal level, as well as state partners at the Attorney General's office and Phoenix Police Department for hosting this, as well as the many other partners that are represented here and who also could not make it, 23 different agencies in all. Every day at the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, we see new cases of predators targeting and exploiting children online. I worked with the individuals who make up the ICAC detectives and personnel for many years, and I can tell you they are an impressive group of people who spend their careers looking at things that would horrify most people in order to protect children. So I know how hard their job is, and I know that they work tirelessly to stop it. But they can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. Parents we need you in this fight. That's why my office has created a new phase of our Report, Don't Repost campaign called Cyber Predators, Real Risks. We are continually adding resources to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office website so you can spot the warning signs of grooming, luring, and sex trafficking before your child becomes a victim. Just today, we added new information and a video about the importance of being a trusted adult. That means having someone in your kid's life who they feel safe going to when they're in trouble. Ideally, that will be you. But we recognize that sometimes, for a range of reasons, it may need to be somebody else that you know about and that you approve. A trusted adult should be someone who will stay calm when a child comes to them, because an emotional reaction, whether anger or sadness or something else, may cause the child to shut down and not share further information. It's someone who will listen without judgment and then help the child by reporting it to the police. Reporting not only protects that child, but all the other children that predator may come in contact with. Because we know this, cyber predators don't just target one kid. They find and groom multiple kids and take advantage of the ones who respond to their requests for sexual material. If this has happened to you, you may feel like you're the only one that this has happened to with this person. Let me assure you, you are not the only one. The grooming happens primarily on social media and messaging apps, but it can also happen through gaming. So parents, stay vigilant. We hear that a lot. Stay vigilant, but let me tell you what I mean by that. Staying vigilant means regularly checking your child's phone, computer, and gaming devices. Not only do you need to know who they're talking to, but what games and apps they are using. And I know this is a frightening thing to say for people, but you need to learn how these apps work. Familiarize yourself with Vault apps, which are secret apps that can be used to hide messages, photos, and videos behind a password. And be aware that these kinds of apps can be disguised as something seemingly harmless, like a calculator. But tech is only a part of it. You stay vigilant by having regular conversations with your kids about the dangers that are lurking online. Teach them about the differences between friends in real life and strangers that they meet online. Talk to them about what they will do if someone asks them for photos or videos. Warn them about the risks of sexting and the serious consequences it can have, even years down the road. You can stay vigilant by deciding not to wait, because these talks need to start now. They need to start at a young age, before your child has regular access to the phone and the internet. So when the time comes, you're ready and your child is ready to make better and safer choices. So take 5 minutes today. Take 5 minutes to start this conversation, because when it comes to protecting your kids, waiting is not an option. And with that, I would like to introduce the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Matt Schaefer.
Thank you, Rachel. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matt Schaefer. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Criminal Branch of the Phoenix FBI. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Phoenix Police Department for hosting this event, and all of the partners here today. It is a great opportunity for us to speak about our children and the safety of our children. The Internet Crimes Against Children mission is one of the most important missions that the FBI works. And the reason for that is because we're protecting our America's future. We're protecting our children. Sadly, the effects that children experience as a result of child exploitation sometimes last lifelong, and it's a constant struggle that the victims experience to try to recover from that. And fortunately, we have teams of not only investigators, but victim specialists and various resources that we offer collectively to help children recover from the traumatic events that they've experienced, but then also to help rescue them from those situations and bring these offenders to justice. This is why the FBI partners with all the agencies here today, and also agencies throughout the country and throughout the state of Arizona who are not here today. Every day we're working together tirelessly to bring these egregious offenders to justice. And the FBI couldn't accomplish this mission without the help of all of our partners and without the help of the parents out there. And that's, I know everybody's talked about it today that has spoke. It's key that we all work together to protect our children. The FBI, one of the things that we do best is task forces, right? Especially here in Arizona, we use our task forces as force multipliers, bringing multiple agencies together, bringing all of our collective resources together to accomplish the mission. As far as crimes against children goes, we do an excellent job here in Arizona, but then we also have 90 child exploitation task forces throughout the country, and also an international violent crimes against children task force where we have membership from over 60 countries and 95 members strong. So if you're out there thinking about exploiting children, if you're exploiting children, we will find you. It's just a matter of time. And not only do we have our resources that we bring to bear on a task force front, but we have entire units at headquarters, FBI headquarters, and in the field that are dedicated toward rescuing children. If you're operating on the open internet, if you're operating on the dark web, and your goal is to exploit children, you're on our list. I do have a message for parents out there, especially with the summer in full swing. Children do have a lot of free time, a lot of unsupervised time in the summertime. I just ask that you set aside time to talk with your kids about the dangers of online predators and coming into contact with these people online. A lot of times it's a very innocuous conversation that initially takes place. Someone will reach out and pose to be someone they're not. They may pose to be a child the same age as your child, and that's how they get their foot in the door. Some recommendations that I have, like I said, talk with your kids. Talk with your kids about the dangers out there. Set aside time. If your children are on the internet, make that supervised time. If they're on their smartphones, on social media apps, that's awesome. They can keep contact with their friends, their family. Make sure that that supervised time, maybe it takes place in the living room, maybe it takes place in the kitchen where people are there. Don't let them, if you can control it, be on the internet in a closed bedroom or in an area outside of supervision. And then finally, I do have a message for all the child predators out there. We're looking for you. We will find you, and we will bring you to justice. Thank you.
Again, I want to reiterate how nice it is to have all these folks out here, all the different partners, to really showing the collectiveness of what these task forces do and how they solve the crimes that are facing our city, our community, and our state. With that being said, I want to thank all of you specifically for joining us here. I know that you have busy evenings, so thank you again. We're going to let our partner leaderships exit the stage, leave, go back to work, and I'll have Assistant Chief DeCastro come up here and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
So I will answer as many questions as I can. I'm not going to get too much into any specific details of any one investigation. Most of it has been covered already, but if there are any other questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Can you give me a little sense of, there were more than 70 arrests. What types of things were these individuals doing? Were they, posing as younger people? Were they sharing exploitive child pornography? What were some of the things that they were doing that they were arrested for?
So many of them were sharing illicit photos. They were trying to get photos from the minors. Some of them were posing as minors themselves. Some of them were openly being themselves. And so all of these things led to the grooming of the children, befriending them and being able to send them inappropriate photos, videos, things like that, and then the sharing of all of those.
But there was the part where it was written that some of the victims are repeat victims.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean exactly?
So unfortunately, once somebody's photo or video goes online and it's shared, it can never really be deleted. We try to do the best we can. So sometimes each time that happens, they become victimized. And so we have some victims where these photos keep showing up, and so they become repeat victims, so to speak.
So this could have been a victim from a different task force where they were
Correct.
identified, and now here they are again.
Correct.
I mean, what do you
It's one of those things that this is the one crime that there is no person out there that can argue that these people need to go to jail. And so, like the FBI Schaefer said, there's 90 task forces out there nationwide, and the internet is open. So it crosses states, it crosses countries. I think it was 60 terabytes of information that we collected with all of these people arrested. That is a massive amount of photos, videos, communications between the victims and the suspects. So it is a huge problem, and that's why we try to ask the parents to really get involved, because that's really the only way we're going to try to get it from the beginning.
Can you say how long one of those repeat victims? I mean, was this 20 years ago that they've been victimized over and over?
Yeah.
How long is this time?
That I don't know. I can get back to you on that. I don't know specifically the time frame, but it is usually they keep going back and forth constantly. So there is a way that we can try to see the same images coming up over and over to verify the validity of a photograph.
Were there any victims that were made contact online and then word off online with personal contact?
There were some that were yes, that were attempted to, yes. Yeah, so that's what they try to do. They try to meet some of these people besides just the pictures. They try to meet with them so that they can perform sex acts with them. And so they do try to set up meetings, and so then we're able to intercept those at that moment.
And trying to give the public a sense of how these predators operate. Obviously, they're very good at what they do as far as
Yes.
posing and pretending to be somebody they're not. How good are they at persuading children?
Yeah, they are extremely good. So they assume that persona of either a child or somebody who wants to befriend this boy or girl that's online. They're very good at the language, at the idioms that children use nowadays. They know how to text correctly with the correct abbreviations and things like that. And then it's a slow grooming process. They don't just immediately say, send me a picture. It's, hey, let's be friends. How are you? They find vulnerable children that are having problems and issues, and they become their best friend. They try to help them, and they slowly get them into their world, and then they start to ask them more explicit, illicit type of directions for them to do. So that, yeah, they are very good at what they do. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes. With this viral program, Panoramic, we're living in,
Mhm.
does the migrant status is an impediment for report these crimes? I mean, some people, either by shame or by fear, they don't report because they don't want to have any approach to the community or police.
Yeah, we have not seen that. The biggest issue is more about embarrassment. So it's really not about status at all. It's, as a child, you become embarrassed, you feel ashamed, and you don't want to tell anybody. so it becomes perpetual, and it just keeps going. The predators know that, and they will use that against the children, and they'll say, if you don't send me more, then I'll send this to your parents, or I'll send this to your friends. And so they just continue to do it because they don't have the maturity to be able to understand what's happening. And that's why we are constantly telling parents to talk to their children and making sure that the children are open with their parents, to let them know when something doesn't feel right. Let them know if somebody's asking you to send you a picture of you naked, or just in a bikini, or just in your underwear. Those are strange requests that nobody should be asking, friend or not. So we have to make sure that the children have an open communication with their parents. But as far as immigration status, that has nothing to do with it. It's all about being children and just being immature and being embarrassed. You're welcome. Thank you.